Welcome, everybody, to yet another goddamn horror podcast. I am one of your hosts. I am Ryan Danley. We're missing something. What are we missing, Jonas? It seems like there's something not here.
We're missing another part of Brooklyn today.
What?
We're missing a whole other part of Brooklyn.
We have the same. It's just weird because I can't tell what it is.
I mean, we're getting a whole lot of Bushwick right now, but
Right.
we're missing some Flatbush.
We don't. We have the same amount of sleeves.
We do.
No, we do. We still have the same amount of sleeves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we are missing a beard.
We're definitely. I have like half a beard going on,
and I have big, sideburns. So
right.
I mean, we do. I mean, facial hair is well wrapped on this.
We have a complete beard if you put it all together.
Exactly.
We are missing the beard.
We are missing the. You could call that a manifesto beard, right?
Kid.
I would call that a manifesto. Maybe we should start that like goatee, and then you have a manifesto.
You have that be in there.
We think we could start that off on this.
I don't know, dude. It immediately sounds like our facial hair is going to shoot up a school. Like you can't do it. Like,
well, I'm not saying that any of us are going to do it, but it's a manifesto style beard.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
no, dude, that sounds like the incel of beards. I don't know if we could do it. Well, I don't know if we could start it.
When they fucking arrested Ted Kaczynski, he had the same beard that Graham.
He did have a wild beard.
Yeah, so I'm just saying it's
he lived in the woods though. That was a woodsman beard.
That was a dude who he didn't even live in the woods. He lived in a cabin. Have you ever seen it?
He was the original. He was the original purveyor of the tiny house. Is what it was. He started the trend. He was like, I fucking got you guys way back.
Van life? You don't even know.
Yeah, you got no idea. Been hanging out here in the fucking wilderness in a tiny house.
I know.
No semblance of electricity at all.
I know it's like a cliche stand-up thing, but it is funny that we turn homeless things into fancy, look at us. You want to follow us like we live in our car? You know what I mean? And you're like,
give it a shot.
Give it a shot. Live in a car. Or there's people living in cars. What are you doing?
Yeah, this is a bad idea. I
don't know.
We're not doing this because we like to.
I don't know if you know this about living in a car, but it sucks.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty. It's actually quite shitty.
There's a reason why when cars were invented, there wasn't a mass exodus from the house to the car. You know what I mean?
It's it's the homeless upgrade, but it's still dog shit. It's It's like when you live in a trailer and you're like, but I have a double wide. It's that's just twice as much shitty. It's just exactly. It's not.
But even that is at least you even knew on the wheels deal that you needed to make it more home than just the back of a van.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
There's nothing good about getting it. Anytime somebody's got a bed in the back of the van, it's no good.
That's a bad life. That life sucks.
Or you're a murderer, kidnapper. I remember on an episode of HBO's Real Sex that I watched when I was 15. There was these two dudes who went to
That's the only time we ever watched Real Sex on HBO. By the way, it's just
well, the funny thing about Real Sex,
they're showing full shaft on this show. Mom, you're letting me watch this? It's crazy.
Well, it's educational. But the thing about Real Sex is as a kid, you were oh, this is what people are doing. You know what I mean? And then you get older, you're oh, nobody's doing it.
No.
They had to seek out, but there was these two guys in New
York
York
that was City. A bunch of bad parents fucking in a jacuzzi. That's what that was.
That was
their kids are dead inside, literally inside the house. They've just died, and they're all right, well, it's out to the hot tub.
There were two dudes who were all ripped, and they had long hair. They kind of were Rico Suave sort of looking dudes. And,
sure. What you would think a gigolo looks like?
Yeah, but they lived in New York City, and they would go to nightclubs, and they had a bed in the back of their van because they would be sleeping with so many women that they would get out of the nightclub and just go have sex with these women in their van. And
no, dude, that's a roofie slab. Is what that is.
Right, but it happened. I don't know if they were a stunt, but they got together with some women during it, and
Was that the original Bangbus? Is that what that was?
maybe.
Oh man.
I would actually like.
We were watching Bangbus as kids.
I just kind of want to know what happened to those guys. Like, I'd love like a real sex later, like like call it like the wet spot. And like and
gross.
Like,
it's so gross.
And like and follow up with all these people that did all this. Like,
I hope that those dudes got some weird ED where their dick only gets hard in the middle, like in the most useless spot of the cock, just like right. But both other sides are just completely flaccid, just an unusable, partially hard dick. Like, that's what I want for them.
I got nothing against the guys. You know what I mean? Like, if everything was consensual, I mean, who knows? But like, you know what I mean? But like, or if it was even real, who knows if it wasn't something
right?
But they
I have a thing against them. They're fucking people in the back of their van on a slab mattress that's full of so much cum. There's like so much errant cum on that mattress,
and they're arguably like it's like in like the Lower East Side or like Hell's Kitchen or something.
Yeah, you know dude, I mean? Like that's okay. That makes me like them even like just in general, like the whole concept of they don't wash that mattress ever. Like I've never washed a mattress in my entire life, and I've had multiple mattresses. They've got one, and it's so gross.
But do you like? How does that conversation even happen? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like
we're gonna go have van sex on this gross mattress. Yeah, oh my god!
How do you like? Hey, like, how do you talk a woman out into a van? Like, I mean, I did a Hard Times article once about Bangbus called this Bangbus is harder to start than you'd think, and I do
remember that. I remember that one actually.
It's one of my favorites that I've done. Basically it's like, I mean, how do you like, it looks so easy on the internet show, but like trying to get like women just to come into your van, way more challenging than you might think. You know what I mean? And so like I don't know. Anyways, what's
super gross about Bangbus, about aside from most of everything about Bangbus, is when the woman gets in there and she has to fuck the really gross lurch looking dude. You know exactly who I'm talking about too. He's he's like I think he's like Cuban or something like that.
Yeah.
And then his dick comes out and it's huge, but it's so gross.
Yeah.
Like it's the grossest looking dick ever. And it's like it's the biggest bait and switch ever. Cause it's like, dude, there's so much size there, but everything about it is horrific. It's like 3 different colors. Like it's just what is that?
It's well, there is a lot of gross things about it. The other one is that, like, for some reason, part of this fantasy is to just throw them out of the van. You know what I mean?
Get the fuck out of here, throw a wad of cash at them, and like, oh, you're on the highway.
Yeah. What a great finish to this fantasy. It's just like leaving this poor vulnerable person stuck. Anyways,
just a wad of cash. Just
I mean, like, whatever. Like,
it's how serial killer movies start.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeffrey Dahmer pulls up and he's like, "You look like you've had a rough day."
Right, they're like, "Oh, finally, a nice guy."
Yeah. Let's go have some beer.
Yeah. Anyways, this is already off the rails. This is what happens when Graham's not here.
He does. If Graham does not reel it in, we get off on tangents about Bangbus.
This is like pretty much every stand-up comedian's conversation.
It's super.
Like every conversation between every comedian, no matter who they are, all boils down to Bangbus. But
it does somehow. That's a good bit. Let's talk about big gross dicks. Like, all right.
I guess so. Anyways, what do we want to talk about now that now that everybody's turned us off? So we
either that or more people tuned in and they were like, "What's this talking about Bangbus?" I thought it was a horror podcast. Let's see where they're going with this.
We do this at the beginning. Not because we actually want to talk about this stuff, but we want to make sure that we want to make sure that the people who are real, it's like a poser detector. You know what I mean? Like, if we say all that stuff and then you're like, why are they saying that? You're a poser.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so like, we're just like, so now everybody who's still here, you're the real heroes.
You're the ones.
You're the real recognized as real. What are we talking
100%.
about? What are we talking about?
So, it's really funny that we were talking about Bangbus because there's actually a movie that's a horror movie that could be considered like the Bangbus of horror movies. It's called Creep Van, which is, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's one of those ones that's on Tubi that you find at 3 a.m. and you're like, I got nothing else to do. I'm gonna watch this. And it very much is a movie like that. Like somebody fucks in the van, and then the van is just like, I think I'm gonna eat these people now. Like it's just
That's awesome.
It's such a great low and like just completely low budget indie movie. But no, we're gonna talk about the upcoming movies coming up here in like January, February, a little bit farther out the year too. But like 2023 is already starting off with some bangers because some new trailers came out today that was just like really got the juices flowing for the new horror coming out.
Yeah, it's gonna be like last year was like amazing, and it's gonna be arguably
Might be right on the same level.
yeah. It's gonna be tough to top like Terrifier 2 and the new Hellraiser,
X and Pearl and like
X and Pearl and all the stuff that we talked about on our Danzig Awards special, which if we haven't listened to,
you should totally go back.
you should go back.
It was quite cool. We had some really cool surprises in that.
And Graham worked so hard on that he got sick and couldn't be on this episode. So like,
yeah, dude, he did. Graham is doing something today that both Ryan and I try to avoid at all costs. He's puking.
Yeah,
that's why he's not here. He was going to try to muscle it out, and like he was going to try for you guys. He was going to try to muscle it out, and he was going to try to tough this thing out, and he was going to try to come on here having the pukes. And we were like, you don't need to do that.
Me, if I saw a guy puke, I wouldn't be on the show. You know what I mean?
But I'm out.
I'd be like, I'm out.
I'm going to call into work. It's like I saw a guy barf today. I'm out.
I'm done. But it's it was a great episode and a lot of fun, and we did a lot of work on it, got a lot of feedback from a lot of cool people. And
we even had some of those cool people do some acceptance speeches that you should check out. Yeah,
I got return emails even from people who didn't do the acceptance speeches. Like I talked to like probably the highest level of people I ever talked to for that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Just getting like responses from Jordan Peele's people and like
fucking Jenna Ortega's people
and everybody just being like so cool and so thankful, and like you know what I mean. I didn't get like form letters back. I got like real shit, you know what I mean. And like
there was like not one person that was like, hey, go fuck yourself with your small award special. All right,
exactly.
It was not even that.
Like why are you bothering with this? And the thing is like I'm not somebody who would ever expect any of I get it. Like I mean, like listen, like I work a job and I do this podcast and I'm pretty consistently doing stand-up comedy, and I am tired. Never mind trying to be like a Jordan Peele who's like I mean, like that guy has got to be like working all the time on all sorts of things because he's producing stuff, he's making these movies, and so like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'd love for him to, be on the show. And Jordan, I know you're listening, but
come on, anytime, open invite. Fucking jump into any episode you want.
you could call me at like if Jordan Peele called me at like 2 a.m. I was like, hey, you want to do that record now? I would call and wake all these motherfuckers up. And
we would happily wake up. We'd wipe the sleep out of our eyes.
I'd be like, yo, Jonas and Graham. Although Graham is usually pretty sleepy, but
he's also usually awake at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
we'd have to get him at like 8 a.m. for this whole situation to work.
Like, right, exactly. But
to be fair, I would also be pretty sleepy at 8 a.m. and I would just be like, is it Jordan Peele? All right, fine. Like
the way I see it, like being as somebody who doesn't sleep a lot, is like I'm tired at like with like 7 hours, 6 hours of sleep. So like I don't know how many hours a night do you usually sleep? Like
that varies wildly. To be honest with you, I don't have a consistent sleep schedule, it's an issue, to be honest. But I would say I probably average around 5 to 6. 5 to 6. Sometimes though, if I have like a particularly hardcore day of sleeping, like where it's like a 10-hour night of sleep, I feel like shit in the morning. I don't feel good when I sleep that much.
Right.
Like 8 hours is tops.
Yeah, 8 hours. I slept like 8-9 hours when I was sick a couple of weeks ago, and like no, no, it just felt weird. Like you got up and you were like time seemed to be gone. You know what I mean? Like,
Right,
you're
right.
like what are they what like it's like 9 in the morning. Like anyways. So anyways, we got movies. It's gonna be great. And
Yeah, there's already some great movies coming out in January.
yeah, let's see.
The first one actually is Megan. That one's coming out this weekend.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is it's kind of like I talked about recently with like the clown movies. Like all of a sudden I decided I'm like, oh, I guess I am like a horror
Turns out I
clown.
like clown movies.
I like horror clown movies. Like I like actually some of my favorites. The movie Clown,
Mm-hmm.
The Terrifiers. I'll go to bat for the It's. I think they're good. You know what I
Killer
mean? Like
Clowns from Outer Space.
Killer
Like,
Clowns for us.
fucking great.
Fucking Haunt.
Yeah. Haunt
Haunt,
fucking ruled.
Haunt rules. And you know, so like apparently I kind of feel that way about like fucking possessed or malfunctioned dolls or whatever too. Like, you know,
Sure.
I went and rewatched you know, a bunch of the I've talked about it on here, a bunch of the Child's Play movies. I rewatched the first one and the second one, and then I did that in October. And then I watched you know, Bride and Cult.
What a
Um
consistently good franchise.
it really really is. And I you know, I guess maybe at that time like it was a little on the tail end of like all the slasher stuff for me, you know, growing up, like, you know, like Nightmare 3 had come out and stuff like that, and it was just like a little bit on the tail end of it, and I always liked, but like I rewatched it, I'm like, no, I actually fucking love this. Like
Yeah. The whole franchise.
I love the whole franchise, and I'll even like give it up to like Annabelle. You know what I mean? Like Annabelle is like Graham's not here, so we can talk about Annabelle without like me seeing the seethingness coming out of his.
He is not a Conjuring Universe fan.
He is not. And it's not like I
The
think
Annabelle
it's
movie, the Annabelle movies are interesting though, because the Annabelle movies, it's kind of weird because the Annabelle movies did something that was kind of strange. The first one, just Annabelle, is not good. Like it's not a good movie. It's actually kind of boring. But Annabelle Creation and Annabelle Comes Home are both much better movies.
yeah
Like they're more scary, they're more suspenseful, they're really are like, you know, consistently into what they are. Whereas like the original Annabelle movie was kind of like, all right, we got to make a movie about this fucking doll since we put the doll in the movies. Like
right
we got to make this. Um, but it's still not bad. Like compare, it's
yeah
just comparative to the other two. It's the bad one. It
right
kind of did what the Purge did, where the original Purge kind of didn't know exactly what it is, but then the next Purge was like, oh, this is the fucking Purge. And then the third one was kind of going back to what it was supposed to be as the Purge. And it was like, okay, the third one rules too. Then it
right
went off the rails. But it was still kind of a similar scenario where it was like the first one was like, no, people want to see the Purge. They don't want to see a fucking home invasion movie.
right
Whereas like the original Annabelle was like, no, people want to see Annabelle go fucking crazy. They don't want to see all this like lore about
right
whatever Annabelle's supposed to be.
sure. I did enjoy Annabelle because at the beginning and like the cold like the what do they call it, cold open? Is it cold open? I don't
I
know.
think it's cold open, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what you know. I should know that kind of shit, but I don't. Um, you know, like the hippie people were next door,
Right.
and then they're in the house and like that like creepy like Manson family ish. Manson
Yep.
for the record, people like to call the Manson family hippies. They were not hippies. They were more like alt right fucking nutbags. But like
Right.
people like because they seemingly had hippie
They were
aesthetic.
what would you call them? They were crust magas.
Yeah, they were crust mag is perfect.
Yeah.
You know, like Charles Manson wanted to start a race war. You know?
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah. They were not about peace, love, and anything like that.
no, they weren't. But so I kind of like that aspect of it. Like it was kind of creepy, like on that level and stuff like that. But anyways, I think Megan looks solid as fuck. Like it just looks like a fun movie to go see. And I don't know. Like I think I'm like, I think I might try to go see it at the theater.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't been
Here's
to. I don't.
You haven't
that.
been to one in a while. Yeah.
Not since the pandemic. I mean, seriously. Like I just went
Here-
going to. I retired theaters.
Here's the thing about these movies. Like this is why I liked the Child's Play reboot or remake or whatever you want to call it. The reason that I liked that is because it took a modern take on the idea of Child's Play. and it converted it to modern times. Mm-hmm. So rather than it being the possession story that really set off the entire franchise, that works as an entire franchise. But if you're going to do a standalone reboot, that kind of doesn't work as well. So what they did is they took it, put it into modern technology, and they're like, no, this is going to be it's not going to be a possessed doll. It's going to be a purposefully malfunctioned AI monster. Right. Like, which it was cool. Like, it worked really well for that movie. And that's the same thing that happens when you're looking at any of these like possessed kids movies or like possessed doll movies. You have other ones like what was it? The Boy?
Yeah.
The Boy was fucking solid. Yeah. And the twist at the end of that was fucking wild, you know?
Yeah, actually, you could argue and say it's not even a possessed doll movie, but it's a doll as the creepy element movie.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's the same sort of thing. And I don't know. I like it. I like it all. And I think Megan, like, listen.
Megan looks fun, is what Megan looks like.
We all know exactly what's going to happen. Like I can write the script for you right here. We can go through it. Like there's no spoiler because I haven't seen it, but
right.
She's gonna get the doll. It's gonna be fun for a while. There's gonna be some weird happenstances. The doll is going to start doing things and that is going to crescendo into an out of control doll, which probably like kills the mother or almost kills the mother, and there's going to be a battle royale to destroy it, and then at the end they're going to destroy it. So that's it.
Plot twist: this is apparently a dark horror comedy. Apparently, it is very self-aware of what it is. Right. And this is from what I've seen from people that have done a pre-screening for it, and like they haven't given anything away. Like they've not in no way, shape, or form have they given any like endings or like any plot points away or anything. But what they have said is that it's a dark horror comedy that's very self-aware, and that it takes the cheesiness of it or like the campy aspect of it, and it hits the tone perfectly. So when I originally saw the trailer for this movie, I was like, this movie looks fucking brutal, because she's doing some shit to these people that is brutal looking little kill sequences, you know, for what it was. And then I saw it was rated PG-13, and I was like, fuck me. Like they did that type of thing. Right. And now as it comes back around and I find out that it's like kind of this tongue-in-cheek, like self-aware campness to it.
Sure.
Now I'm like, okay, well, now I'm actually okay with it being PG-13, because now they can play around with some shit and have fun with it. And it doesn't have to be like this over the top, like gore fest, but it also can be a very self-aware, campy, you know, robot child movie, right? Which actually makes me more excited for it. The fact that it's not going to be taken seriously, like fully seriously, really makes me want to see it more.
Totally.
I'm into it.
I'm into it too. Let's see what else is coming out this month.
So a couple of trailers that just dropped today, actually. Yeah, this first one is a shocker, because I sure as fuck didn't see this movie getting a sequel. And I definitely did not see this movie getting a sequel 40 years later. Yeah. And it's Mutilator 2.
Yeah.
Which, who the fuck saw that one coming?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's
from the same director? Like,
yeah. I mean, it's like, like, so has he been sitting on this, or was it just like all of a sudden,
just woke up one day and he's like, I think it's time to make a sequel to the one movie that I was famous for.
Right. Like, and I mean, like, the movie itself looks like, I mean, it's gonna be, I'm looking at it right now, and I watched it earlier, and it is not gonna be a happy movie. Like, it's gonna be like, well, I think it's gonna be a rad, but like, but it's
got the same feel as the original. It looks like it's original locations. Like it looks like it's gonna have like this meta feel to it. Where it's like movie within a movie almost.
Right.
And like it looks fun.
Yeah, and it's like they even
in
have
that sense
in a Terrifier costume, just
right.
You know what I mean? And so it's gonna be a really fun movie, and I'm pretty excited about it. And I didn't see this coming at all, but this could be the sleeper hit of this year. You know what I mean?
You
Because
never
it's
know.
like, well, I mean, it's like, so like what I'm hoping for is that Terrifier 2 or the popularity of the Terrifier series actually kicked off a resurgence of these like sort of like classic slashers, like
Yeah,
like early 80s slashers. You know what I mean? Like with that have been like like you know crowned up, gussied up. You know what I mean?
sure. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
For more modern, viewing. And
Put some
like,
shine on it.
yeah, exactly. And like that's what I'm like I'm hoping like that Mutilator 2 is like a direct, like this is what we're gonna see. Like there's interest by the studios to pump money into this for like the next 3 or 4 years until eventually they blow the market out of us again, and then we
Right.
yeah, but like because that it's a
That's what
cycle.
happens.
The world works in cycles, man. And like I got deep there, everybody.
You did.
I got deep. But like I mean, but it would be impossible to say that that's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? But
I think it's gonna happen. I mean, like that movie that David Howard Thornton was just in, the Mean One.
mhm,
It was also another one that had the Terrifier effect
right,
because it was out for 1 week in theaters, and then people kept on going to see it. So it expanded and expanded and expanded. It hit 5 weeks. 5 weeks on a theater engagement for a low budget movie about a murderous Grinch.
right.
Like, who the fuck saw that coming?
Yeah,
Nobody.
exactly.
That
And
is
he's
not a movie that gets a theater run. You know what I
exactly
mean?
exactly. It's like it's and so like I'm hoping that this is the new day. You know what I mean? That we're that because of the success, and we talked to Steve Barton about this a lot when he was on, one of the producers from Terrifier
Terrifier 2.
2. Yep. He and like this is what we're hoping for, like a renaissance of this. I mean,
Yeah.
horror's done well for a while, but but it's coming back from like that weird era in the early 2000s with like they're not terrible movies, but like What Lies Beneath
Yeah.
and what was that? A Stir of
They were,
Echoes
yeah, they were kind of like middle of the road horror. They weren't like crazy good, but they weren't horrible. They were
right.
just very watchable, you know?
Yeah, even Guillermo del Toro, who somebody, this is no shade thrown at him, but like
Right.
but like that like weird ghostly effect that he had for a while and stuff like that. I think that there was just like like we kind of got into an era, and I feel like we're getting back to like some basics. You know what I mean? And some like
Right.
some widely, like I mean, like a lot of money was put into horror last year. I mean, we got a new Hellraiser. We had the end of the much controversial, even on our podcast, end of the Halloween series. The
I bought the steelbook to that, by the way. Halloween Ends. I
yeah,
bought the Halloween Ends 4K steelbook because I have a mental illness and I have to collect the whole fucking franchise. But it's a great steelbook. So anybody that's still looking to buy, anybody that's looking to buy that, fucking go out and buy it. It's a dope steelbook.
did you watch it? Yeah.
No, of course not. No, I put it on my fucking shelf and I was like, I completed you. You're the last shitty Halloween movie that I have to watch, like, or that I have to buy.
Yeah, we'll see. Wait till uh but I'm hoping this is a renaissance of that. Mutilator 2 is like right up that alley. You know what I mean?
Well, this year is shaping up to do similar things that last year did, because like last year we got Scream 5,
right,
and now we have a completely new direction with Scream 6.
right.
You know,
Yep.
so the Scream 6, this one is going to New York City, which is crazy because it's never gone outside of Woodsboro.
Right.
And it opens up a whole new bag of tricks
Yep.
for a franchise that nobody saw going to the fifth one, let alone the sixth one.
Sure.
And the fifth one was a banger. Like, so it's from the same people that did the fifth one that are doing the sixth one. So all signs point to that being really good. You know,
Sure.
so you're getting franchise expansion there. But then the other one, which is the trailer that dropped today, which looks fucking crazy good, is Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah, I like the Evil Dead Rise trailer spawned this episode. I'm gonna be honest with it. Like, I mean, like we had to talk about it. It is just such a like it is so perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
it is like it is so much better than I thought it could be. Like It's enough Evil Dead 2013, but still with a little like old school Evil Dead to it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
still like still a little Deadite sort of thing going on. You know what I mean?
100%.
And still like some creeping up, looking out of the thing, and the you know what I mean? Like it's
Still that. Yeah.
and I don't know. Like I feel like this is um God. I just they like they haven't. We have to give them credit because they have not fucked this up. You know what I mean? Like they have
No,
like
they have not missed yet.
I mean, I guess the movie could be terrible, but like
I highly doubt it.
I highly doubt it. And like already the direction that they're going into it too. I mean, like I've been wrong about like you know what I mean. Like I was pretty excited for Age of Ultron, and but it was I don't know. Like I thought that like
As,
like
as far as red band trailers go, like sometimes red band trailers, they go a little too far with what they show you
right
because it gives too much of the movie away. With this one, it feels like they gave you a lot, but also gave you absolutely nothing.
right.
Like kind of like the Barbarian trailer, because the Barbarian trailer was one of those ones where you feel like it almost showed you a lot, but then at the end of the trailer, you're also like, I also kind of don't know anything about this fucking movie now.
And I think
Like,
I think I felt that way at the end of the movie too. Like I felt like at the end of the Barbarian, I was like,
I'm not 100% sure.
I don't even really know what I just watched.
Right. It was
like,
dope, but I'm not sure.
I liked it. I actually, you know, what's funny is like, it's not that I didn't like it after I saw it, but like I was like a little like, but
Right. But the thing is, so the thing that I liked about this trailer for Evil Dead Rise is like, first off, it's already been like talked about like ad nauseum that it was supposed to be Evil Dead in a high rise.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of that, but also it's kind of not.
Yeah.
Like there's a little bit of that, but there's also a little bit of the cabin. There's a little bit of the old, Evil Dead aspect of it. But the fact that it's focused on a mother who's targeting her children is super fucked up.
Yeah, like, super fucked up. And like the conversations between them, I was already like,
right.
It would have been like when she's like, I don't know, mom, you don't look that good. And then
she's like, you don't look too good, mom. And then she's just like, I'm fine.
nothing that a big hug from you could. First of all, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're my mother or my kids. Anybody says like nothing but a big hug from you couldn't fix. I'm calling bullshit. You know,
big shenanigans on that one. Yeah, like no,
I'm like, nah. There's some fucking rotten in Denmark on here, and
you got blood dripping from your jowls, and you said a hug like that. Get away from me.
Nope, ain't buying it, ma. This isn't my fucking first rodeo on creepy shit. You know what I'm saying? So
I want to mention one thing about the trailer that is kind of a spoiler in the trailer. It's not a spoiler for what I think the movie is. It's a spoiler if you haven't seen the trailer yet. First off, go see the trailer fucking right now. It's the red band one. It's awesome. But there's a part in the trailer where the mom reaches up and grabs somebody by the hair and scalps them. Mm-hmm. And when it happens, I initially thought like, they're just showing that part just as a teaser. And then like 20 seconds later, she throws the scalp onto a fucking floor. And I'm just like, oh shit.
They're not fucking around. But they didn't fuck around in the first one either. So like or in the 2013 version either. You know what I mean? So like I'm actually like I feel 2013 was a brutal fucking movie.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
And
it was a phenomenal take on the story too.
Oh, it's fucking fantastic. It's like I fucking love it, and that's what I'm saying. And what I love is I like when when they like they're not gonna. You were never gonna do Sam Raimi's Evil Dead 1 and 2. Like that is lightning in a bottle. That is like, and anything that you try to do is going to do it. Like you have to know when enough is enough. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like if they tried to pull off some sort of campy thing, it would just like, hey, listen, there's great later camp. The Dead Snow movies are fantastic. Sure.
Drag Me to Hell, Sam Raimi. It was campy and it was fun.
Absolutely. Dead Street, great.
Yeah, fantastic.
great, almost Evil Dead-ish sort of thing. So I think you could pull it off, but like I love that they just went like serious with it. You know what I mean? I have seen that fail before, i.e.,
Sure.
Point Break. Listen, like the thing about Point Break is that the original Point Break is not a good movie.
No,
but
it's a well revered movie.
But it's fun as fuck. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like the Mission Impossible movies, or even like the John Wick movies. To be quite honest with you, like although John Wick is pretty good, but
John Wick rules, but it's also comically over the top.
Yeah, like it's just ridiculous. Like it's like
you killed my dog, or like you stole my dog. I'm gonna kill all of you. Like
every one of you.
It's going to last 3 movies, and it's going to be so many body counts. And I'm gonna kill you specifically with a horse. I'm gonna use an actual horse as a weapon to kill you. Like, yeah, that movie's fucking ridiculous. Yeah. My favorite part in all the John Wick movies, my favorite kill in all of them is, I want to say it's the 3rd one, where the opening of the movie is them fighting in a mirror factory. And then at the very, very end of the fight scene, he's exhausted, and then he just picks up a hatchet and throws it at the dude's head, and he's just like, fuck, finally. And he just walks out of the room after hatcheting this guy straight through the face.
I don't actually remember that, because you have to pick like it's a lot of killing. Like, I mean, I wonder actually like what just in those movies John Wick's body count is. That would be interesting. It's probably I'll look up online while you're talking about.
I want to see James A. Janice. I want to see James A. Janice from Dead Meat do a kill count for John Wick.
John Wick kill. Let's see.
I don't even think you could. There's so many.
299.
In the whole series or in one movie?
In all 3 of them.
299. That sounds about right, actually.
Yeah. All right, that's a lot,
especially for an action movie. Like,
he kills 94 in the first one. He kills 84, and the second one he kills 128.
In the third one,
in Parabellum he kills 94. Hey, that's I mean
that makes sense. Yeah, that's actually right.
Jason Voorhees. You know what I mean? Like,
Jason Voorhees is probably killed as a total in all 10, 11 movies, 12 if you include Freddy versus Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Voorhees' body count, I would say he's done probably about 42 out of all the movies. Because like Jason X was low. I don't even know how you would count Jason Goes to Hell.
They're just saying 25.
Is that out of 8 movies or 10 movies, or as 12?
All of them. I mean, there's some logic to that. I mean, it's like 4 or 5 a movie. I don't know. It feels like it would be more.
Roughly. Maybe it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's like...
He was never a high body count one, though. Like, his body counts were never super high. Fuck, even Freddy, come to think of it, his body counts were never super high either.
Nah, he just picks like...
Who do you think the highest body
count? No, he has killed... no, I'm wrong. He's killed 157 kills over his movie.
Who has?
Jason. So
157?
Yeah.
That seems high.
That's what it just says.
That feels like a fake number. I feel like I don't know if Jason Voorhees has killed that many people.
So anyways, well, we can if you go find us on AGHD 666 on the socials, and
tell us we're wrong or right. I don't know.
Yeah. What
I feel like the Leprechaun probably has the highest body count out of all of them. He kills a lot of motherfuckers in his movies.
They say Michael Myers has the most. Which horror killer has killed the most people?
Actually, yeah, Michael Myers has killed a lot of people. Yeah, his body counts are relatively high.
So it's Michael Myers, Voorhees, and then so. Yeah.
I don't know why I never remember Pinhead when I'm thinking slashers. Because Pinhead he's also killed a lot of people.
Yeah, he has killed a lot.
But yeah, so we have 2 sequels to 2 franchises.
Right.
Well, okay. We have 1 sequel to a movie that was 40 years ago. So We can now consider that a sequel. Then we have Evil Dead Rise. And then we have, so the two franchise sequels are Scream 6 and Evil Dead Rise. And then we have this new sequel that's Mutilator 2.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have some original ones that are coming out that seem pretty fucking cool too. Like we have Infinity Pool coming out from Brandon Cronenberg, which that one's coming out at the end of the month, at the end of January. And I don't know if you've seen Brandon Cronenberg's other movies, but Antiviral is super cool. That's his first movie, and that one's pretty dope. I don't think you've seen that one. I don't think you've seen that one, but the concept of it is cool.
I haven't seen Antiviral, but I think Possessor is like my favorite movie in the past.
I was going to say, because Possessor was his follow-up, and Possessor's incredible.
Yeah, and Possessor is like, I think one of the best, like arguably maybe like one of my favorite movies of all time. Like it's so like, I just love the ending so much, and it's like they stick the ending like no other movie.
Yeah, Brandon Cronenberg knows what he's doing. I mean, his first movie, Antiviral, was about people that get viruses that celebrities died from injected into their body to kind of have like a connection to a celebrity. And it's super fucked up. Like it's a super fucked up Cronenberg body horror-ish type movie, but it definitely, you can tell that it's his first movie compared to what he did in Possessor. So now Infinity Pool coming out has Mia Goth. That's her newest movie. So I'm already sold. You got Brandon Cronenberg plus Mia Goth. Sign me the fuck up.
Yep, for sure. We might get into a little argument about this next one, not about the movie itself, because I think we both agree the movie looks good. But I'm a big M. Night Shyamalan fan. I don't care what anybody says. I know people love to hate M. Night, but I think he makes.
I think he's a great director. I just think he's a shitty writer.
I think that. Well, I mean, like Sixth Sense is, I think, so good, and I don't know, I like a lot of his movies. I think they all kind of remind me of like Twilight Zone episodes, and like they're just like in this like little like horror fantasy world that he's created, and I kind of like that. And
right.
But I think
well, that's why I think he's a good director, and it's kind of interesting because I will always give M. Night Shyamalan a chance. Like I've seen every one of his movies when they've come out, and my problem with him has always been that he's so attached to the twist that it fucks the movie up for me. Because like Sixth Sense is a great movie, but I don't think that twist was as brilliant as everybody thought it was. Because I had that twist figured out very early in the movie, and I wasn't even trying to. But at the same time, it didn't bother me when it happened at the end, because I was like, okay, that's what I thought it was going to be, but also it was presented in a really cool way. But like the rest of the twists in his movies, they always feel so shoehorned in because they just have to have a twist because it's his movie, where it's like, he didn't have to do that. Like The Village is a pretty decent movie until the ending comes along, and then it's like, fuck you. And like Signs, people love Signs, and I can't get behind Signs because the ending makes the aliens the dumbest fucking beings in the entire universe.
Yeah, I didn't really care for Signs very much, and I think that like it's just I think for whatever reason that movie is really popular of his.
The Happening was hilarious.
I like The Visit. I think The Visit is like arguably
The Visit's dope. I actually do like The Visit,
and like I actually didn't figure it. And I thought something different, but it was I kind of liked the twist at in the Visit, and I think they did a good job making those people that way. And
sure.
I don't know,
The Visit was cool. Old wasn't terrible. Like Old was actually super creepy. The twist again was kind of like bullshit, but the actual movie itself in general was pretty good. Unbreakable was cool for what it was. Like it was cool. Glass pissed me off, but there was lots of other reasons why. But Split was really good.
I think he's got a better batting average than a lot of people, and he's not given that credit. You know what I mean? Like I think he's got a better.
And he always takes a chance. I like that.
Yep. And I mean, they'll hate him for movies that he should have never put in charge of, like Earth AD or like Avatar: Last Airbender and that shit. You know what I mean? Like, he just shouldn't have been given those. That's just like it was like giving David Lynch Dune. Like it just wasn't gonna, like it just wasn't gonna work. You know what I mean? Like and it's not that that movie's like a cult favorite and we all love it because we've all seen it a lot of times and stuff like that. But like the scope of Dune,
the only two truly terrible movies that I will say that M. Night Shyamalan has, like truly terrible, bad fucking movies, are Lady in the Water,
mm-hmm.
and I'm not talking like in The Last Airbender and those ones. I'm talking about as far as horror movies go. The only two that are legitimately awful are Lady in the Water and The Happening. Those are both really legitimately bad movies.
Yeah.
That are kind of like the ones where it's like, okay, those were your two big black eyes. The rest of them are just kind of, like it's all right. Yeah, but his new one looks really good.
Yeah, and it's called Knock at the Cabin. It's based on a book called The Cabin at the End of the World, and basically about a family that needs to like sacrifice one of their members to save the world. And
it's got Dave Bautista in it doing like some full dramatic acting.
Yeah, Bautista's like, just after coming off a Glass Onion too. Like Bautista is like he's upped his game. You know what I mean? Like
he really has.
Yeah, he's a decent. He's good people too. So like
everything I've heard about him, he's solid people.
Yeah, and it's like and he's like not he's pro LGBTQ and all that. His mom's lesbian and stuff. You know what I mean? So like so he's like it's just nice from. It's sad that we have to point that out, but like like a lot of meatheady dudes can be not cool about shit. You know what I mean? And and so
it's always a nice added bonus when you hear that too, where it's just like, oh, you were a good dude on top of that, now you're an even better person. Like that's cool.
Or like the opposite is like Chris Pratt, who is like a pretty entertaining person.
Dude, fuck that queef.
Yeah, like, seriously. But he's seriously, it's like a Proud Boy. You know what I mean? And it's just like
that guy went from somebody who I liked a lot to being a complete fucking jizz belch of a person.
Right. Like I'm just like, I just don't want to see anything with him. And it's like, I even like old Parks and Rec. I just can't even watch it with him. You know,
dude,
what I mean?
he has a scene with Aubrey Plaza in Parks and Rec that is one of the funniest fucking scenes that I've ever seen. And I can't even now I'm unhappy when I watch it because not only has he tainted that scene, but also he's made me dislike something that has Aubrey Plaza in it, which I thought was fucking impossible.
Yeah,
I didn't even think you could do that.
I just watched a movie with her in it.
Was it Emily the Criminal?
I watched that.
It's a good movie. She did good.
She did great. That movie suffered a little bit from like too much like backstory and too much first act.
Yeah, it was a very heavy first act, and then it kind of sped up the next two acts.
Yeah, and then like I needed like more. They needed to build those next two acts, but
she did fantastic in it though, especially for like having to go outside of what she usually does.
Right.
She was great.
And then I watched Brown Bear, Black Bear.
Oh, Black Bear.
Black Bear.
Black Bear fucking ruled.
Yeah, the movie totally rules. And and
again, she does great.
She fucking kills it. Aubrey Plaza is just.
Speaking of bears, Cocaine Bear is coming out.
Cocaine Bear is coming out, and that's
we've talked about it before, but I'll keep talking about it. Cocaine Bear is coming out soon.
Yeah, I just like a Hollywood that's like, fuck it, let's do Cocaine Bear. You know what I mean? Like it's just like we need that in the world, like,
right?
You know, and like we need less like, you know what? Can we do like a 17th Transformer movie? Like,
right?
You know what I mean? Like
we're gonna have to keep recasting the dude for less and less known white dudes, but we're gonna have to,
right. Like, I mean, absolutely nobody wanted another Avatar movie. You know what I mean? Like nobody was like, you know what? Really, what happened at the end? Like nobody cares. You know what I mean? And like, yeah, there's people who will go see it. Adam Posse, looking at you.
Listen, you know what? I got to defend my boy though, because I did go see it. I went and saw the movie, and my take was what everybody else's was that was a beautiful fucking movie. There was no story at all. None.
I didn't like the first one, so I don't know what I.
No, the first one sucked too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I just can't do that. Like James Cameron is like just dead. Like, I just wish that he could just like I don't know why he's so into this Avatar thing. Like, it's just like
He already
it's
made a
like,
third one. It's already
yeah,
third. The third one's pretty much already made. But here, okay, I'll say one thing about Avatar. The first one, I saw it in the theaters. I saw it in 3D, and it was technologically a marvel. Like, it was crazy. In fact, every other movie that I've seen in 3D since then has not matched up to it at all. Like, so whatever he did in the first one at that time was like technologically way the fuck above any other 3D technology for what they were doing for the films. But then I saw it on my home screen, which was still a good screen. It was still a big screen. Bad movie. I was like, okay, so that's what it was. Like, it was the whole immersive 3D thing, and it was like that's why it was such a cool fucking movie.
but I just like I don't like like to me like because I saw it in 3D too, and like it's not like I wasn't impressed with the 3D, but like it didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, yeah.
To me the art looks like I honestly the art looks like the AI art to me. Like it just like it lacks soul, it lacks
Oh yeah.
anything like that. Mind you, I am not an animation person in general, but one of my favorite movies is a which is getting a sequel this year too, which is the Spider Verse and
Yeah.
enter the Spider Verse and like the art in that is
Right.
incredible and has like so much like living soul to it. They say that you can freeze any frame in that movie and it could be
Mm-hmm.
a comic.
I could see that.
And so I think Spider Verse was absolutely a fantastic
It
film.
was incredible.
And then so like when I go see those things, it's just like I don't know. I just like old green screen shit. Like I don't know. Maybe I don't. I just like
So here's what I want to say about the Avatar sequel. The Avatar sequel will be the exact same as it was for the first movie because I saw it on a gigantic screen in 3D. It was fully immersive and it was incredible to look at. But that's it. Like, there was nothing else to it. But also, the other thing about it is that in this one specifically, the frame rate is much higher than other movies are, and it's jarring. It's weird. Like, you know how some TV screens have that soap opera effect and some people
mhm,
don't like that?
yeah.
This is that turned up to 1,000. So, like, it's strange because these are definitely animated creatures, but they're moving around on the screen with so little blur
Mhm.
that it feels like they're real, but they also don't look real. Like,
Right.
it's too fucking clear. Like, it's straight up is too clear.
Right.
But the 3D aspect of it is stunning. Like, it's brilliant. But again, at the end of the movie, you go like, I don't remember anything about that movie aside from that it was cool to look at.
Right. And yeah, I just can't. All right,
I
let's
do
wrap
want more Spider Verse though. More Spider Verse. I'm
more
all
Spider.
about that.
There's a
Also,
lot.
you know what animated movie I can't wait for you to see, Ryan?
What's that?
The new Puss in Boots movie.
Okay.
I'm not.
Uh,
I shit you not, and I'll tell you why. Because first off, it's a really good fucking movie. Like, it's really good. Second off, it's kind of brilliant in what they do with the animation.
right.
It's multi animation, so it's some of it is like that in DreamWorks Pixar looking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it looks like the Spider Verse.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it looks like old cell animation. And the way they did it, whoever was behind that idea, that was fucking brilliant. Like, and also it's a really good movie. Like, it's actually shockingly good. I'll take more Antonio Banderas any day.
Sure. I do want to watch Paddington too.
Also weirdly good.
Because everything I've heard about it is that it's actually like amazing.
It
And it's
is.
like it's like yeah, and I've never seen it, but
You
I
should
do.
see it. Its Rotten Tomato score is still at like 98 or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Also, side note to that, if you go on Twitter, there's a Twitter guy that adds Paddington to a movie every single day until he forgets. And I think he's at like 298 or like 300 or something like that. And one of the more recent ones was Terrifier 2, and it's fucking hilarious.
Okay, I'll check it out. Renfield.
Renfield, I literally just heard about this movie not too long ago.
But didn't you see? But you've seen pictures of Nicolas Cage in this
Right,
outfit, right? Yeah.
right.
So,
But I just
uh,
heard like full stories of it and like, saw that it was close to completion, if not completed. I just saw that recently.
Yeah, this is like a kind of like this Nicolas Cage, but Ben Schwartz is in it, who's like a talent.
Fucking love Ben Schwartz.
Speaking of Bart, I mean for an improv guy.
I will say this: Jean Ralphio is probably my favorite character on a TV show in the last 10 years.
Yeah, him and Mona Lisa. So Sour.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. So
whenever Jean Ralphio does the worst, it's my favorite thing. Like
she is the worst. Yeah, he's for a improv.
For an improv guy.
Yeah, I mean, and then the other Dracula movie is the last voyage of. I'm believing it's Demeter. I don't know.
I think it's Demeter.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. I could be very wrong, and somebody on the YouTube comments can be like, "You're an asshole. You pronounce that very incorrectly."
Why are you people so stupid? And I'm going to tell them straight up. I'm going to look them straight in the eye and tell them American education system.
That's exactly why.
We don't get taught. We learn about ranch dressing. We learn about hating commies and I mentioned ranch dressing.
You want to know how passionate I am about ranch dressing? I brought ranch dressing mix home from Washington State to my roommates in New York so that I could show them what real ranch dressing tastes like. And now I fucked their life up because that's the only ranch dressing they can ever have ever again. Now they have East Coast ranch and like, this is dog shit.
There's a couple things the West Coast do well.
Ranch dressing is one of those things.
But this is actually a chapter out of just a singular chapter of the Captain's Log out of Bram Stoker's Dracula. So, which is a great take, and as a fan of writing, I'm kind of into it. I might read that chapter and see what's up with it. So
it's gonna be interesting to see how they do a full movie off of just one chapter. The other movie that's coming out that's been well publicized, and I didn't know was coming out this soon, is Blood and Honey. The Winnie the Pooh movie.
Yeah,
it's coming out in like February.
Yeah, it's gonna be fascinating, and I hope that rides the Terrifier too, where people are like, let's just go see this crazy fucked up movie.
Let's go see the Winnie the Pooh slaughter movie.
Right.
What's funny is the people from Immortal Masks, which by the way, I need to I'm going to be talking to them again because they're actually going to be some people that are going to come on the show. And I think we're going to talk to them closer to the release date of the movie. Blood and Honey, dude, it's coming out, I think February 13th. So I'm happy to see that those people are getting some film work on that.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think honestly, as far as horror movies go, those are the core ones that I think are going on right now. So, obviously as time goes on throughout the year, we're going to be releasing more of them. But I think right now, like, that's a good start to 2023.
There's all sorts of stuff. There's the Nun 2, which I don't even really want to talk about. Disney's Haunted Mansion.
Those are all to be announced though. Like, right. As far as dates and stuff go.
Yeah, and we didn't even really dig into Scream 6, which is is going to be great, and you know what I mean. It's the same people from the 5, so it's going to be cool. So I think we got a lot of this coming up this year. I'm kind of looking forward to this, but this is but we see that Evil Dead Rise, and we gotta do it. So.
Right? Yeah, and I think Scream 6, as it gets closer to the release date too, we're going to talk about it more.
Yep.
Because more stuff's going to come out on it, and it's like, as of right now, totally stoked for it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for everybody for tuning in. We're not going to do any recommendations or anything today. Just go watch the trailers and go listen to. Actually, you know what? I am going to recommend go listen to the Danzig Awards if you haven't.
Fuck yeah,
they're a lot of fun, and yeah, this is it.
Also, shout out to the Army of the Goddamned. I don't have the list because that's not usually what I do. But Graham is usually the one. But all of you, all of you on the Army of the Goddamned over on our Patreon, you guys fucking rule.
Yep.
Thank you very much for your support.
The best.
Yeah.
So, all right, everybody, go start fires, break glass. Appreciate y'all. Peace.